Welcome to this episode of Hunt Florida TV, and I tell you what, woo! I mean, if you live in Florida like I do and hunt in Florida, I mean, you're used to this. But boy, we got some. It's hot and humid, especially in the summertime. But you know, it's not my favorite time to be in the woods. But if you're going to be successful at deer hunting or any kind of hunting, you need to get out and you need to scout before the season starts. So anyway, that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to kind of teach you what to look for when scouting for good areas to go deer hunting. So anyway, I tell you, until it gets colder, I recommend some bug spray on your boots, especially that kind of spray with a lot of DEET, because it'll keep chiggers or red bugs off of you, and I hate that. So I hate those things. That's the gift that keeps on giving. So anyway, I think the first thing to do, like I've said in previous videos, it's great to if you've never been on a piece of property before, get on the internet, look at something, Google Maps or something like this, and try to find some areas where you've got some we've got different habitats coming together. I'm talking pines, and I'm talking hardwoods, hardwood drains and creeks and stuff. That's on that edge right there is where you're going to that's where you're typically going to find deer. And so once you've kind of studied that on the map, then you need to, the next thing to do is to get in your truck and drive out there like I did, and get on foot and try to go to some of these places and then look for some signs. So what I saw right here, this is a gas line right here. I saw that there's a low area right here, and I knew that from the map because of the oak trees, the hardwoods that it showed on the map. And then I noticed right over there was another low area, but right here I saw pine trees, because on the map pine trees are going to be a lot brighter green, and as you can see, there are pine trees. And pine trees aren't going to grow, especially as big as those are. They're not going to grow in an area that stays wet for too long. So this looked like a good spot where deer could kind of funnel through there and make their way into some feeding areas that are back behind the woods. So anyway, we're going to go take a look at that right now and see if we can find what we're looking for. Besides wearing some boots and spraying yourself down with some good bug spray with DEET on it, another good thing to have when you're scouting is a machete. Okay, look here. This is exactly, I mean, look, can you see that? Can you see that right there? Look at that. If that ain't a game trail, I don't know what is. Can you see that? Right there. So I saw a spot, a possible good spot on a map that looked like there was just a little skinny part of high ground surrounded by some low areas, and I thought it might be a good place for deer to cross, and sure enough it is. But the only way to verify that is to get out there and get out in this sun and this heat and this humidity and see for yourself. And as you can see, look at that. Can you see that right there? That is a great trail going through there. Look at this. And I'll tell you, a great time to do this too is in the summertime, especially when it's been raining a lot. And I tell you, here's another reason why you bring a why you bring a machete with you right there, for the banana spiders. And we're not gonna hurt the banana spider, but we're gonna see if we got a little gap right here that we can get up underneath. There we go. All right, I can still see this trail going through here. I hope you can too. But like I was saying, in the summertime is the best time to be able to spot these things, because, and look at this, here's an old fence line right here. You see that? See that old fence line? There's an old fence line right there. So not only is this a great place for deer to come through because of it's a strip of high ground in between two sides of low area, but there's a fence right here. So deer are gonna take the path of least resistance. So they are walking right along this fence line. Look at this. This is perfect. I don't know if you can see, but in the summertime, like I was saying, it's the best time, especially after it's been raining, to really see. A lot of times you'll find deer trails, you'll find game trails, but if you see too many of them, you don't really know which ones are being used the most. So it's when you come out here in the summertime after it's been raining, their feet, their hooves really push into the ground real well, And that's how you can really tell which game trails are really being used the most often. So anyway, we found this spot right here, and you can see the trail keeps going through here, and there's some trails intersecting right here. But I tell you, there's right through there, you can't see, but right through there is like a nice little feeding area where you've got some native grass coming up. So I think they're going right into that. They're funneling right into that. But this line right here is going, is moving, this line that we just walked is due north, okay? And so in the fall and winter, you know, your prevailing winds normally are going to come out of the north. I mean, sometimes it's going to be northeast, sometimes it's going to be northwest or whatever, but most of the time, you know, they're going to be coming out of the north in the fall and winter. So you definitely want to keep that in mind when you set up your stand, and you want to keep that in mind when you approach your stand. So knowing that the deer are going to come, you know, they're either going to walk this trail, they're either going to walk it south, or they're going to walk it north. Either way, I'm going to set up where I don't cross this trail, and that my stand is, I've got it set up, as you can see. I've already got one set up right there. I've got it set up right there, and it's kind of a bow setup right here, because I'm thinking I might be able to get one coming in here while they're still in their summer patterns. But here I got a stand put up right here that's well within bow shot of this trail right here. And basically, what I'm gonna need here is I'm gonna want any kind of east wind, okay? Like I said, that's north right there, that's east. I'm wanting any kind of east wind that's gonna blow my scent this way and not across where the deer are gonna be coming from. What I've done is, we don't need to go over it right now, but what I've done is I've taken my machete and I have made me a trail so that I can access the stand approaching from, I guess, the southwest. And therefore a northeast wind or something is going to be beautiful for me. Any kind of east wind, really. What I don't want is, I don't want a west wind, because the west wind is going to put my scent over this trail that the deer are using. So here's a good spot right here, and let's you know, right now I'm just hunting a very well used game trail that I've found. And you know, for those of you who have game cameras, you know, if you've got someplace like this and you just want to be sure, you know, that it's deer using it, not hogs or something else, you know, you can put a game camera on one of those trees and come back and check it and see what you got coming to it. But anyway, I know this is gonna be a good spot. Another thing to look for, besides well-used game trails, is food sources. We're talking about oaks that are gonna be dropping acorns. We're talking about, you know, down here in the southeast, we've got a lot of wild persimmon and wild crabapple trees. So, you know, look for that. If you see something like that, that's gonna be good. So let's see if we can go find some of that. Woo! Tough workout here, but it'll definitely be worth it come fall. Anyway, I was telling you earlier about the first thing you should do when thinking about hunting an area that you never set foot on before is look at some aerial photographs, look at some of these maps on, you know, Google Earth and that kind of thing, and look for you know, look for where different habitats are coming together. I'm talking pines, you know, upland pines, and I'm talking lower, you know, hardwood areas, areas with water. You know, once you get out there, the you know, deer are typically going to have areas that we call bedding areas. Most of those areas are going to be really thick, areas that they feel really safe, that they can bed down in and not be disturbed by anybody. And then you're going to have feeding areas where, again, it's going to be you know, oak trees where, you know, that are dropping acorns. Perhaps you might find some other soft mast trees like wild persimmons or wild crab apples, and then also, you know, native grasses and weeds. You know, don't forget that, they eat that too. So what you're going to do is you're looking for these major trails like we just found, like I just showed you earlier, that are kind of connecting, that are going back and forth between these thick bedding areas and food sources. So what we've got right here, let's see if you can see what we got right here. What we've got right here is this is kind of and you might see these out here, I don't know, for lack of a better way of saying it, it's kind of an island of some oak trees right here, and it's shaded out the bottom here so you don't get a lot of ground cover. And you know, I can see, you know, let's see here. I mean, I can see some, these are old, of course, but, you know, I can see a bunch of acorns right here, see? I see a lot of acorns on the ground. If you can see some of that. They're all old, though. Those are water oak acorns. We have a lot of those in Florida. If you can find a white oak tree, which are the ones that put out the really big acorns, those are the acorns that deer prefer the most, because the acorns don't have as much tannic acid. You know, live oak trees, we have a lot of live oak trees here, and that's my favorite tree. You know, I think it's the prettiest tree in the world. But the acorns are more acidic, and they don't prefer them as much. I mean, they will eat them if that's all they have, but there is, you know, if you're lucky enough to find a water oak tree, a white oak tree, then definitely hunt over that. But in all my years of hunting Florida, I have found very few white oak trees where I've been hunting. So, but there are a lot of water oak trees. That's the little acorn that I just showed you. There's a lot of those. So if you find these little islands like this, and you can see that the you know, that it's shaded out right here, so you don't have as much ground cover, and therefore the deer and turkey can find the acorns a lot easier. I mean, you can see, I don't know if you can see, there's a lot of old acorns I see right here. See that? Can you see that right there? Look, a couple right here. Okay, so this is a good spot. This would be a good spot to set up, and you would just want to set up your stand, if you can, you know, south of this area, to again take into account the prevailing north winds that you're going to have during hunting season, and then try to make your approach also coming from the south, so that you know, your scent does not cross where the deer are going to come from, hopefully, and where the deer are going to come to. So anyway, let's see if we can find some other good food sources, okay? And look at what we have right here. This is great. Can you see it? That's a wild crabapple tree right there, y'all. Look at that. Look at there. See that? I mean, it's loaded too. It is absolutely loaded. Deer and turkey love that soft mast. And I tell you, look at this right here. If you can see it right here, they've already been eating it. I can see that there's no crab apples on this lower branch, and I can see that the leaves are nibbled off. So they've already been eating it. But I tell you, not too many on the ground. Normally in Florida, crab apples drop. They drop right there. Right there. I mean, perfect for archery season. And normally, if you're lucky, it'll last through archery season. But you've got a great opportunity if you can find a wild persimmon tree or a crabapple tree like this. You got a great opportunity to, you know, the deer and turkey. I mean, they've known about this food source for. I mean, this is a pretty mature tree, so they know about this area. You can bet that they're going to be here. You know, I mean, they're already starting to come here, but they're going to be here probably. I don't know. It just depends on how many crab apples how long they last, but probably almost until Halloween if I'm lucky enough. So because of this tree right here that I found right here, look at where I put my stand. There it is right there. Again, a good bow setup right there. Can you see it? And I got it in that oak tree right there. And that oak tree is an evergreen oak tree that is going to not drop its leaves. But can you see my stand right there? There it is right there. So I've got it all set up, and that's about a 20-25 yard shot. So perfect bow setup. And again, that's south, that's north. So I'm going to be approaching from the south, climbing up in my stand, and hopefully a deer is going to walk out of those woods right here, or maybe walk out of these woods, and going to come over and take a bite to eat. So anyway, that's some of the food sources that you need to look for. You know, the only other thing, especially looking for bucks, is maybe looking for rubs. It's too early right now to find any scrapes. That normally happens, at least around here, right before Halloween. You know, during that pre-rut period. But 'cause I'm up here in North Florida, but and they're even it's probably even a little bit too early to start rubbing right now, because they're still in velvet. They're not at the point right now where they're going to start rubbing that velvet off, but I think you guys know what a rub looks like. If you don't, you can go to a previous episode of Hunt Florida TV, and where we talk all about rubs and how you can find them and what they mean. So anyway, thanks for tuning in to Hunt Florida TV. I'm Tony Young, and I've done my scouting. I'm ready to go get in the air conditioner right now, and but I will be ready for opening day. So hope you are too. Stay tuned.